Alright, so trying to start a little video series on bringing this 07 Buell Lightning XB12SS back to life. And if you stay watching all my videos here, hopefully we'll have her all body worked and repainted. This is all just Plastidip. The previous owner had spray painted the whole thing. So I'm guessing the paint was pretty horrendous on it before, or plastic, because I don't believe that these were actually painted. But today, we're working on the spark plug changes, because I had fouled them out from trying to start on a junk battery all winter. And you can see the rear ones down there, they don't make this easy to change. And the front one I've already gotten out. I just have a paper towel covering the hole. It has been a couple days. And I had to go and buy special spark plug removal pliers for the boot, because you physically can't get your hand down in here. But I guess these pliers are supposed to be able to clamp onto that boot and pull it off. And you have to use, I'm trying to remember what size. It was a 5/8 spark plug socket with, you have your extension and swivel on your ratchet. So I'll resume once I get this boot off, and I'll show you guys how the ratchet gets down here. It's not really much of a how-to, because there's already a really good how-to on how to do these, but more so just taking you along. Alright, so here we are. You can kind of see it. Got the light set up just right, so you can kind of see her go. Loosening her. There you can see there's the rear one. The front one I have in one of the cars, but here's the new ones. And your gap, I don't know if you guys have one of these, but it's definitely a need if you're changing spark plugs. And the factory recommendation for the gap on these spark plugs are 0.035. And I've already pre-gapped them, but anyways, we get them put in. So the easiest way I found to take off and or put on the front spark plug is to take my spark plug socket after I've already hand threaded in, because you can just barely get your hand in the front one. The rear one, you cannot at all. I didn't even show that, but I got that one on. I just need to actually put the boot back on. Hopefully I can get the pliers in, because that's not easy to do either. But the front one, I just put my socket on over it after it's hand tightened. And I take a 13/16 wrench and I put on the end of my spark plug socket, and you can just barely get a couple turns into it, quarter turns that is. Let's see if we can, there. Anyways, it'll go. But in the video, the guy's working on a Buell firebolt, so I don't know if it makes a difference, but there's like, I don't know, I can't get this harness out of the way to get my extension down there with my swivel. It just like binds it up too much, so I had to find out a new way to do it. That's what I had come up with. So if you guys are ever doing this and you can't somehow get your socket with your swivel and extension, all this junk down there, use 13/16 wrench and put it right on the end and just do a couple turns, keep flipping it, it'll go. Well, here she is. Let's see if we can get the light back. Got the rear boot on. Oh, they're down all the way. You can't really tell with them plug pliers. And there's the front one on. So probably what I'll do is I'll throw this air box back together. And there's the cover for that. And then we'll just see if it works before I get too into buttoning everything up. Alright, so I got the air box put all back on. And here we go, let's put the key in. See what we get. Look at that. That was instant. Sounds good. It has not ran all winter, and I put this exhaust on from Rev Moto. It sounds really good though. But this is definitely the first start in a long time. Well, probably since Christmas. I don't hear it misfiring or nothing. I'll resume this. I'm going to do Red Motor gives you this cool thing to like kind of test stuff out, and I'm going to make sure I don't have any fault codes since it hasn't ran all winter. Here she is all put back together. And like I said, I mean, everything's going to get painted. And I have these giant freaking washers up here because all my mounting tabs on my airbox cover have been busted. And it actually, when I originally got this bike first, it was a huge crack and you can kind of still see it. But I had JP welded it all together, and that'll all get body worked in when it comes down to it. But anyway, there's no air codes. I checked my ECM Droid software and it came out with nothing. Some little history on this bike. When I first got it, I had the clutch lever was actually broke, the OEM one, and I bought a new one, which were these ones from Amazon, and they don't actually fit my bike like it had said. That's Amazon. Put this one on, and I noticed that it was like acting weird, and so I watched a video on adjusting the primary cover. Well, I didn't know that you could adjust down at the primary for your cable too much, and like overdid it. And basically a common problem on these primary covers is inside. Well, actually here, I had to buy a brand new one because it's still not 100%, but I had to do kind of a fix on the old one, the one that's on the bike currently. And it didn't actually end up working well. I mean, it's rideable, but it's not right. The clutch has been messed up since. But anyway, so these guys here, these little, I don't know what you want to call them, but they'll break off, and they're just like, it's just a machine lip on the other side. So it looks like, let's see, it's like that. And basically, I forget what, I think it's called the ramp. The ramp inside will basically bottom out, and it hits it and it busts it because it's just cast aluminum. This whole cover just cheap, I guess. Well, it broke, and then I ended up having to buy a whole new clutch basket and everything inside, and that was a whole nother story on just trying to put it in when you don't have the right parts. But it works. I'm going to change the cover, and the plan is the new one will be paint matched to the bike, then the air scoop, obviously the tank and all the other body parts. And I have the bottom shroud. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Buells. I'm hoping somebody here watches this that likes them. But anyway, I got to make something to where I can put this back on, or I'll probably just buy the bracket from Rev Moto. I just didn't want it at the time because I figured I'd make my own. And anyway, the other thing that's going to be painted is this cam cover right here. And then this cover, I have a carbon fiber one. It needs a little modified, but it's going to be painted with the pearl over it because I'm pretty dead set on a color. So anyway, this is my 07 XB12SS Buell Lightning. She rips. But if you guys like these kinds of videos or not, or if anybody even watches this, but if you do and you want to see more on this bike, I guess comment down below, or if you just want to make fun of me, go right on ahead. Stay tuned.